So welcome to this edition of Mental Wellness during COVID-19. I'm Linda Hall, Director of the Office of Children's Mental Health. Our office focuses on supporting Wisconsin's children in achieving their optimal social and emotional well-being. In this time of social distancing, we want to know how the pandemic is affecting the work of our collective impact partners and their thoughts on how children's mental health might be affected long-term. Today, we're talking with Collective Impact Partner Tina Crave. Tina is President and CEO of the Watertown Community Health Foundation. Welcome, Tina. We're delighted to have you.
Great. Thank you for having me, Linda.
So, Tina, tell us about the foundation and its role in serving the community. And then what is it that really excites you about your work?
Great. So at the Greater Watertown Community Health Foundation, our mission is really to inspire collaboration amongst multiple sectors of our community and mobilize resources to measurably leave our community in a more well place. And grant making is just a really small part of that. Primarily, our work involves facilitating community-wide systems change through collective impact and an effort called Every Child Thrives, which has grown into a partnership of more than 40 partner organizations across Dodge and Jefferson County, working to ensure that every child thrives in learning and in life. Two other ways that we serve the community are through capacity building, and that is often around creating learning communities to learn about some of our community's challenges or facilitating quality improvement efforts when we have a specific goal that we're working towards. And then finally, our foundation really advocates for policies that benefit families and young children. And to date, most of that has been local policy and systems, but we're just starting to work to have some influence and share our story at the state level as well.
Great. We've been following your work from our office and really excited about what you've been accomplishing at the community level and your engagement with us at the state level. So
thank you. We've learned so much from all the partners involved with the statewide collective impact.
It's been a good exchange that is ongoing. So Tina, how has COVID-19 changed what you do at work? What ways have there been changes?
Yeah, I wanted to reflect on two things. And the first is, as the backbone organization for a collective impact effort, when the stay-at-home order was in place, I got a little nervous thinking, oh my, we convene people. You know, what are we going to do and how are we going to continue this work? And like everyone else, we learned pretty quickly that virtual meetings do work, especially when you have relationships. And we found that they work really well instead of always needing an hour or a 2-hour meeting to schedule a half-hour touch base to keep a project moving forward. So I think we found some efficiencies there. I'm not sure yet if virtual meetings work when you're starting something new with partners that don't yet have a relationship and have trust with each other. And that's something we're all going to get to learn together, I think, over the next 6 months or so as this way of working continues. I think the most important thing that's changed for us is that the goals we were working towards, some of them have become more important than ever. And so the leaders of our partner agencies met this week and we looked at our action plan for 2020 and said, which of these items are more important than ever? And is there anything on here we should put on hold so we can focus on those more important things? And loud and clear, we heard there are two things vitally important. And one of them is the social and emotional development of young children. And the second one is community level resilience. And there we're speaking specifically to compassion fatigue and the resilience of caregivers. And that means families, it means professional caregivers, but the last few months have brought a new kind of stress to all of us. And we really recognize a need to acknowledge that and to put systems in place to help folks work through that.
Well, I'm thinking that we are thinking about some of those same issues and really interested in sharing thoughts around that because you've brought up some really key points. Glad to hear about that. So Tina, as we think about moving past COVID-19, we wonder if there's some opportunities here to innovate. You've hinted at that a little bit
Yeah.
already, but what do you see are things that we really should be carrying forward after the pandemic?
Yes. I think the opportunity this has given us the opportunity to talk about resilience and talk about emotional well-being in a safe way. We all have more heightened stress in our lives, and there's more talk about it in the community and in the media. And I think we can use this opportunity not only to talk about it and to normalize the continuum that we have of emotional well-being that we're all always working on, but I think to go past talking and to look at, what practices can we put in place to have a meaningful difference. And I have a couple examples. So one of our partner agencies has made it a workplace policy to talk about compassion fatigue and recognize that their staff are working at home, maybe they're homeschooling their children, and they might be doing their job as a counselor online full-time. That's really stressful. And so they've said, we want to support each of you employees in identifying what are the one or two strategies that work for you to rejuvenate yourself, to keep yourself feeling strong. Because if your tank isn't full, you can't help fill the tank of others. And I loved that analogy. And our team here has talked about how do we normalize that? So in daily interactions, we're asking in a general way, how are you doing? And how are you filling your tank? Because we all have to take care of ourselves first before we can take care of others. And when we think of parents, I probably was an example that didn't fill my tank because there was only enough hours in the day to fill everyone else's tank. But what we know about strengthening families and about protective factors, that adults need to take that time to make themselves resilient. And I hope that that's one of the lasting things that comes out of this, is that we talk about it, we normalize it, and people feel okay for taking time for themselves.
Absolutely. Thank you, Tina. Thank you for those important reflections. A lot of fodder there for us to think about and act on in our own locations.
Mm-hmm.
So, well, again, Tina, I'd like to thank you for being with us today. And for those of you listening, we wish you and your loved ones wellness during COVID-19 and beyond. Thank you.
Thank you.